25M, have been with my girlfriend, 22F, for a couple of years now. We've been living together for a few months, and up until recently, things were really solid. Sure, we had minor arguments like any couple, but nothing major. Overall, we were happy. Last weekend, she went on a short trip with her college girlfriends. One of the girls has a family-owned lake house, and it was just supposed to be a relaxing getaway for the group, kind of a final summer memory before some of them moved out of state. I was completely supportive, told her to enjoy herself and make the most of it. But something changed while she was gone. The second she walked in the door after getting back, I felt it. She barely looked at me, gave me a quick half hug, then went straight to the bedroom, saying she needed to unpack. No real excitement to see me, no stories about the trip, no photos to show, which is very out of character for her. Normally, she'd come back from something like that overflowing with energy and sharing every little detail. And that wasn't even the weirdest part. During the trip, our texts became strangely brief and spaced out, not like how we usually are. I chalked it up to her being busy with her friends. But after she came home, the distance just kept growing. She's been quiet, emotionally flat, like her mind is somewhere else. I asked her how the trip went, and all she said was, "It was all right." Then she instantly changed the subject. She's also started journaling, which isn't bad in itself, but she's never really been one to do that regularly. Now it's every day. She's spending a lot of time alone, zoning out, not really laughing at the shows or jokes we used to enjoy. It's like she's emotionally checked out. When I gently asked if something was wrong, she said she was tired and just processing a lot. And when I pushed a little more, she told me I was being too clingy and that she needed some space. That stung. I've never been called clingy in my life, and it made me take a step back. I even reached out to one of her friends, trying to get some insight, but they just brushed it off and told me not to worry. But how am I not supposed to worry? She went on a weekend trip and came back acting like a completely different person. Not angry, not upset, just distant in a way that's hard to describe. It's like she left as one version of herself and returned as someone else. I don't want to overthink it, but I honestly feel shut out, and I have no idea why. Am I overreacting? Should I keep trying to talk to her, or do what she says and give her space? Right now, all I know is something changed and she won't let me in. Update the next day. Thanks to everyone who left advice or reached out. I read everything, even if I couldn't respond. Some of it made me feel better, some made me feel worse. Still, I appreciate it. After trying to talk again, she finally admitted that something happened during the trip, something she deeply regrets. She said there was a game that got out of hand. It started as a joke among the group, but apparently crossed some personal boundaries. She was vague about the details, just said she wasn't acting like herself and that she didn't fully remember everything. From what I understood, the group was doing dares, silly stuff at first, but it gradually turned into things that made her uncomfortable. She wouldn't go into specifics, but the way she said it, it felt like she was holding back a lot. She seemed ashamed. One of her friends, Ellie, apparently didn't take part in any of it and even left early when things started going too far. I reached out to Ellie to try and understand what really happened. She confirmed that more people had shown up at the cabin than originally planned. But beyond that, she didn't give much info either. Now I feel stuck. Hurt, confused, betrayed. Not just by what may have happened, but by the fact that she hid it from me and is still refusing to be Hones. I don't even know the full truth, and that's eating away at me more than anything else. I told her I need space. I'm overwhelmed and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with this. I love her, but right now, I don't even recognize her. Anyway, here's what happened next. The conversation wasn't really planned. It just kind of unfolded naturally. Earlier, I had reached out to one of her friends to see if something was going on. She didn't give me much, just said it wasn't really her place to talk about it. I figured I wouldn't get anything more, so I decided I'd try to talk to my girlfriend later that day. When she came home from work, she was acting strange again, distant, quiet. Same pattern. She barely said a word, didn't touch the dinner I made, went out for a long walk by herself, and then took an unusually long shower. After that, she just stayed in the bedroom, not really saying or doing much. I noticed she hadn't written in her journal at all today, which was unusual, but I didn't overthink it. Later, I came in and gently asked about her day. I wasn't trying to press her, just said I really cared about how she was feeling and asked if she could talk to me. I made it clear I wasn't upset or trying to start anything. I just wanted to understand. I told her I'd support her no matter what, but keeping me in the dark wasn't fair, especially since we've always been open with each other. She didn't say much at first, just kind of mumbled about not knowing what to say, being tired, stuff like that. So I gave her space, went for a walk myself, and tried to stay calm. Later that evening, she finally started to open up, just a little at first. I think she needed time to collect her thoughts. I'm not going to repeat every word she said, partly because it feels personal and also because I'm still trying to process it. But basically, something happened during the trip. Something serious. She didn't describe it in full detail, but she made it clear that it crossed a major line in our relationship. A big one. There had been plans to drink on the trip. That wasn't a surprise. She's had drinks before, and so have I. It's never been a problem. I've always supported her having fun, going out, going to parties. I've never tried to control her, even if we don't always have the same energy. She's never been what I'd call a heavy drinker, at least not around me, and it's never been something we had issues with. She's always handled herself well and acted responsibly. She said what happened wasn't something she planned, that it just kind of happened, and she wasn't herself. Hearing that made my stomach drop. It sounded like she was bracing me for something really bad. I told her to just be honest, that I already knew enough to understand something happened, and I deserved to hear it fully. She said that for the most part the trip went as planned. They drank, went to the sauna by the lake, swam, played games, typical group getaway stuff. Honestly, it didn't sound bad. It sounded like a normal weekend with friends. But later that night, things escalated. They kept drinking, the music got louder, the party kept going. Some of them were in the hot tub. Others stayed inside playing games and chatting. My girlfriend kind of went in circles when explaining what happened, tried to convince me it was a fun trip overall. Eventually, though, she admitted what had been bothering her. Later that evening, someone suggested they play a party game. Nothing too wild, just a casual game among friends. At first, the dares were harmless, sharing celebrity crushes, singing a song, telling a funny secret. Pretty standard stuff. But as the night went on, the energy shifted. Some of the dares got a bit out of hand. A few of the girls started encouraging more bold actions, things like silly challenges and pouring drinks for each other. My girlfriend admitted she joined in, but the way she said it, she looked uncomfortable, almost like she regretted being part of it. She said it felt fun in the moment, and that no one was uncomfortable or forced into anything. She kept saying it was all lighthearted and that girls just act like that sometimes when they've had a bit too much to drink. She also mentioned she doesn't remember everything clearly and woke up with a pretty bad hangover. She insisted nothing serious happened and said it's not who she normally is, that she usually just watches from the sidelines. But the way she talked made it hard to tell what actually happened. She never really explained what she personally did, just kept circling around the details. It felt like there was something she was avoiding saying out loud. There was one girl on the trip, let's call her Ellie. I met her before, and she always seemed kind, upbeat, not the kind of person who'd get involved in something messy. I asked if Ellie had joined the game. My girlfriend said no. Ellie apparently stepped out once things got a bit too much. Said she wasn't feeling well and left the cabin for a while. They talked later that night outside, but according to my girlfriend, nothing unusual happened between them. Honestly, I believe that, but the way she brought it up felt weird, like she was trying to clarify something I hadn't even asked. I wasn't accusing Ellie of anything. I just wanted to understand the full picture. My girlfriend also mentioned she hasn't really talked to the girls since they came back. She kept saying she felt awful and didn't know how to tell me, that she needed time to figure out how to explain it all. I didn't yell or accuse her. I just sat there. It didn't even sound like her. She didn't have her usual clarity or care in the way she spoke. Since then, we've been distant. There's just this heavy silence between us now that I know what's been going on. I told her I needed some space, went out for a walk, came back, and now I just sit in the living room not even looking her way. I know I'm shutting down too. I'm acting distant, avoiding eye contact, pretending everything's fine when it clearly isn't. But at the same time, how am I supposed to be okay with all this? I honestly can't imagine life without her, So the way she's acting now is really hard to accept. Should I even sleep at home tonight? Should I break things off completely? My head's a mess. I don't know what to do or how to even approach this. I've never been the confrontational type. I love her. I really do. But now, I don't know if I'll ever be able to look at her the same way again. Not just because of what might have happened, but because she came back and shut me out. She made me feel like I was losing my mind for noticing something was off. This is something she should have come clean about immediately. It obviously affects our relationship. And right now, I don't even know if they're still in us. We set very clear boundaries between us. We both respected them, until now. The fact that she's still hiding details from me, that's what hurts the most. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm not really looking for advice, but if you want to share your thoughts, feel free. I just needed to get this out of my head. This all feels like a nightmare. Edit 1. I called her friend again. This time I demanded straight answers, since my girlfriend refuses to give me any. She admitted there were more people on the trip than just the original group of girls, but she wouldn't say anything else. She said she didn't really care, and told me to talk to my girlfriend if I was that concerned. Yes, I got emotional and raised my voice. I'm just trying to understand what actually happened. Only she and Ellie are reachable. I don't know anyone else who was there. At this point, I'm just exhausted from chasing the truth. I'm not even home right now. I don't feel like going back. Edit 2. I'll post a full update later. Everything is overwhelming. Right now, I need time to think and figure out what to do next. I've read a lot of your comments. Thank you to those who reached out with kind words. Again, I'm not really looking for advice. I just needed a space to process this. Edit 3. Added a TLDR at the top of the original post. Didn't realize how long and messy this turned out. I was just venting my thoughts in the moment. Thanks to those who pointed it out. Edit 4. To those sending me weird messages or telling me you'd treat her better, or worse, threatening me. Honestly, thanks. It gave me a few laughs in a really terrible situation. And that's where the story ends for now. It's tough when someone you love starts acting like a stranger, especially when they refuse to be honest. What would you do in this situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves real stories with real drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.